am going to read the SolePaths that are in the Compassionate category. And I will be reading these lovely paths out of my dear friend Dr. Deborah Ford's book, The SolePath Book of Knowledge. It's a beautiful book, a really nice, enjoyable read. I'm absolutely loving it. And you're welcome to purchase this book at Amazon, as well as our website at www.solepath.org. So the first soul path in the compassionate category is caretaker. Compassionate caretaker. The affirmation. I am a compassionate caretaker, and I am confident and deep, and I choose to feel accepted. Compassionate caretaker, light path. As a compassionate caretaker, you happily care for others and are sympathetic, helpful, and cooperative. You love people and love to be liked. You are extremely reliable and a great team player. You are trusted. Your core energy as a compassionate caretaker is feeling compassion and loving people. How beautiful. To see a compassionate person living a life and working in a field that nourishes their heart instead of depleting it would be the greatest experience. This core energy represents the positive core values deep within you that create an expansion of your energy that creates positive, loving feelings. Being a compassionate caretaker means loving humanity, loving others, and loving yourself too. It means being gentle with others and yourself and participating in the world with compassion. This interaction that brings you the most joy and peace and a feeling of being on purpose is connecting with people in a loving way. So who am I? Who is the compassionate caretaker? I respond to the world through my heart. I trust my feelings. When I identify whether I'm feeling good or bad, I don't make mistakes. I get into difficulty when I don't trust this and overthink or allow the opinions of others to get in the way. Mine is a love soul path. I care about everyone. I am popular, and this is probably because of my gift of making others feel good about themselves. I get a lot of satisfaction from the happiness of others and seem to be able to bring out the best in them. I am sympathetic, helpful, cooperative, and sometimes take on the issues of those I am interacting with. I love other people and love hearing their stories. I do love to be liked, and this often is difficult for me to see the truth about others. My friends are very important to me, and I love to have people over and make sure that they enjoy themselves. I especially enjoy it when we reminisce about good times from the past, but I need to watch myself sometimes as I can participate in and share gossip. I am sensitive to how others are feeling and good at understanding their point of view. I am loving, supportive, and unfailingly generous with my time, my talent, and my energy. I do need to hear thank you from those I care for and am sometimes resentful of being taken for granted. I need to let go of wanting this appreciation, as I feel so much happier when I remember that I am doing it because it is who I am. I have a big ego, but often need approval from others to feel good about myself and need to work on my strong reaction to personal criticism. I get hurt by unkindness. I don't understand it at all, and it makes me feel that the world is a dangerous place. What am I doing here? My joy comes from happily giving my time and energy to make sure that the needs of others are met. I just seem to know what needs to be done to help even before those needing care realize it. You can always rely on me. If I say that I will do something or be somewhere, know that it will be so. I am highly cooperative and a great team player, although I do like to have some measure of control. People trust me because I am down to earth and consistent. So, SolePath, Compassionate SolePath characteristics for the caretaker are compassionate, care about everyone, popular, sensitive to how others are feeling, gift of giving others the gift of feeling good about themselves, always reliable, down to earth, good at understanding others' point of view. Friends are very important. Trustworthy, consistent, reliable. Make sure the needs of others are met. Highly cooperative and are a great team player. How lovely. Great characteristics. Noticing that in them is just beautiful. Who is the compassionate caretaker? People with the compassionate soul path are inherently assured and centered. You are compassionate and have confidence and depth, are empowered and gentle. Your superpower is love. Special gifts and greatness of the compassionate caretaker soul path, a popular person who is demonstrative and tender. So, some understandings for popular, demonstrative, and tender. So for popular, the compassionate caretaker loves people and will happily care for others. You are a sympathetic, helpful, cooperative, and popular team player. Your joy is connecting with people in a loving way. You have a wonderful gift of making others feel good about themselves and love to bring out the best in others. You love people and hearing their stories. Your friends are very important to you. You do need to hear a thank you from those that you are caring for. Otherwise, you may feel taken for granted. The compassionate caretaker's predisposition is to be people-focused, and this is an incredible life skill. You need to follow this natural inclination, but need to keep an eye on feeling overwhelmed. A place limits in too many people needing you. The energy itself in the word needing is pretty heavy. So to receive the love and care from a compassionate, it's beautiful. So let's help them not to feel taken for granted for. Demonstrative. Compassionate caretakers are really affectionate. You love physical contact with those who are around you. Others shouldn't be surprised to find you hugging, holding hands, or just reaching out to touch them. It is a way that you show your love and your appreciation. Compassionate caretakers are not afraid to be demonstrative in their efforts. You are a loving, supportive, and a generous person who makes sure the needs of others are met. You do have a deep need for approval from others, and you need demonstrative love in return. You wither when neglected. Kind words and actions are remembered forever. So let's show our compassionates that we're grateful for them. Tender. Compassionate caretakers have a natural desire for harmony and peaceful interactions. You get a lot of satisfaction from the happiness of others and are unfailingly generous with your time, talent, and energy. You are sympathetic to the needs of others and sensitive to how they are feeling. You are helpful, cooperative, and really good at understanding another's point of view. You are a trustworthy, consistent, and reliable person who is also down to earth. Compassionate caretakers are gentle souls who don't require loud or harsh words to understand. Kind explanations will go a lot farther than harsh interactions. Most certainly. More compassionate caretaker tools. So some light switch questions for you. Questions to ask yourself as a compassionate caretaker. What is the most compassionate answer? Lovely. Am I taking care of people? the RX, prescriptive action that you can take to trigger your compassionate caretaker. Do something loving for someone else. Do something nurturing for yourself. So in a nutshell, the compassionate caretaker. Popular, demonstrative, tender. Superpower is your love. Compassionate, confidence, depth, empowered, and gentle. Some famous people who have passed over their soul paths that resonate with a compassionate caretaker, or that are the same of a compassionate caretaker, is Chuck Berry, had a caretaker soul path. Buddy Holly, Patrick Swayze, were all compassionate caretakers. So as I shared, there is a light and a dark. So that was the understanding of the light compassionate caretaker. Now I will read the dark path of the dark compassionate caretaker. Remember, the dark is a mastered skill, something you are very familiar with that has a been there, done that energy about it, and often feels unfulfilling and frustrating. Dark paths are a continuum, and you are just as likely to connect with light paths as the dark path. The dark path description gives you the full picture, but you won't necessarily be this person. Be aware of those things that occur regularly that you need to work on. As a dark path compassionate caretaker, you are just as likely to be popular, demonstrative, and tender, all of the light path characteristics, as you are to take on the collapsing behavior. So who is the dark compassionate caretaker? I am a victim. Everyone always takes advantage of me, and I never get enough thanks for what I do. I am a difficult friend, partner, and co-worker, as my need to keep scores poisons all of my relationships. If I do this, you need to do that. If I do two things, you need to do two back. My love for others is given and then withheld at a moment's notice. You may never know why I no longer love you. You may never know what you did that has caused me to declare myself taken advantage of, that caused me to declare myself a victim at your hands. So these are the dark path ways of recognizing. They are gifts and greatness, and they are your place of growth. So they're not a bad thing. They are something, if you are experiencing it, to remember it is just an experience, but to always choose your light paths to help you vibrate out of it. Other negative characteristics for the charismatic caretaker. My deep desire to be liked makes me a chameleon in my relationships as I try to mold myself to what I think you want. That's chameleon, not chameleon. Chameleon. I then resent you for making me do this. I hate you when you point this out to me, and then I spread lies and maliciously gossip about you. And that's a chameleon. That's all right. It's just an experience, something to recognize and to choose away from. Compassionate caretaker dark path characteristics. Some are hurt by unkindness, withdraw love when feeling taken advantage of, need to keep score in relationships, never receive enough thanks, resentful of changing self to fit in, feel world is a dangerous place, need approval from others to feel good about self. More pieces of your dark path puzzle as a compassionate caretaker. The need to feel put upon, a victim, and that I'm being taken advantage of. Antidote, seek objectively, say no in an appropriate way under appropriate circumstances. Learn to love yourself and others, not simply serve. Choose to feel protected. Dark fears, I am not lovable. I really hate you for your dependence on me. I only help others to receive something back in return. So those are the fears of a dark compassionate caretaker. Identity, I am always harmed. dark path subconscious reaction, everyone always takes advantage of me. So that was the dark path caretaker. Now I'm going to read the dark path, or the light path of the compassionate facilitator. So there are three. There's the caretaker, the facilitator, and the healer are the three soul paths that are under the compassionate category. Compassionate facilitator. I am a compassionate facilitator, and I am confident and deep, and I choose to feel accepted. The light path of the compassionate facilitator. As a compassionate facilitator, you are all about community. Once you have unfolded others into your community, your joy comes from being of service to them. You love your community, your family, and your cultural traditions. You are loyal to a fault and are a sincere and sympathetic person. You are also responsible, reliable, and hardworking. To be part of a facilitator's community, to be loved by a facilitator, is a gift indeed. Your core energy as a compassionate facilitator is desire to be of service and love of my community. Being a compassionate facilitator means creating community wherever you go and loving and being of service to this community. It means participating in the lives of your community, your family and friends, and creating meaningful relationships. The interaction that brings you the most joy and peace and a feeling of being on purpose is connecting with people you love. Who am I? Who is the compassionate facilitator? I respond to the world through my heart. I can trust my feelings. When I identify whether I'm feeling good or bad, I don't make mistakes. I get into difficulty when I don't trust this and overthink or allow the opinions of others to get in the way. I just really love my community, my family, my friends. My world revolves around those I care about. My joy comes from being of service to them. I am responsible, reliable, and strong. I am a hard worker, personable, and loyal to a fault. I have a big heart and am sincere and sympathetic. Sometimes I have a difficulty distinguishing between someone who is worthy, following and supporting, and someone who isn't worthy of my trust. My extraordinary loyalty can be taken advantage of, and it is best for me to trust the instincts of those I love under these circumstances. I love the traditions of life, both family traditions and cultural traditions, and I cherish my family, its history, and its place in the community. I make it a point to get to know my community, and I love chatting with the neighbors. As far as money goes, I need to know that I have something to put away for a rainy day. It gives me peace of mind to know that my future is taken care of financially. Otherwise, I can worry about money and seem to be a bit mean. What am I doing here as a compassionate facilitator? My joy comes from being of service to those I care about. The whole purpose of my existence revolves around my family, my friends, and my co-workers. I help my loved ones accomplish their intentions and am often described as the wind beneath their wings. I sometimes forget that all those I love are here to have their own experience, and I just want to do it all for them, to protect them from the harsh realities of the world. I willingly work long hours doing tasks that others may find thankless, but I can see that these tasks need to be done, and I'm quite happy with being the one to do it. I enjoy working alone, and rather than delegate or get any help, I usually like to do the work myself. I will do whatever it takes to get the task done. I'll move mountains if necessary. Compassionate facilitator. So some characteristics of the compassionate facilitator are: make a point of getting to know people, responsible, reliable, and strong, hard worker, personable, and loyal, really love my community, family, and friends. The world revolves around those I care about. Big heart, sincere and sympathetic. love the traditions of life, willing to work long hours. Great characteristics for them. Who is the compassionate facilitator? People with a compassionate soul path are inherently assured and centered. You are compassionate and have confidence and depth, are empowered and gentle. Your superpower is love. Special gifts and greatness of the compassionate facilitator soul path is a community-focused person who values tradition and loyalty. I'll share some understandings of community, customs, and loyalty. So first, community. From your first breath, compassionate facilitators are building community around them. You just love your community and friends and gather people around. You have a deep need to belong. In your life, you will need to spend lots of time with friends and create space for these nourishing interactions. Your world revolves around those you care about. You have a big heart and are sincere and sympathetic. You cherish your family. Your ability to make those in your community feel special is an incredible life skill. You just need to take time and create the space to just be with those you love. You will learn to determine those that are worthy of your love. Customs. Compassionate facilitators love the customs of life, family heritage, and cultural traditions. You cherish your family, its history, and its place in the community. Compassionate facilitators love getting to know their community. They make a point of getting to know people and connecting with neighbors. You need to create family customs, traditions, and activities with your loved ones and share memories of time spent together through photographs or other mementos. Despite your focus on community, you're very effective when working alone. Loyalty. Loyal to a fault, a sincere and sympathetic person. Compassionate facilitators are also responsible, reliable, strong, and hardworking. You are personable and help your loved ones achieve their intentions. Your fulfillment and joy come from being of service to those who you deeply care about. You sometimes forget that all those you love need to learn their own lessons and have their own experiences. You just want to do it all for them, to protect and shield them. But as we all know, we each have our own life's journey to take. But the love that you give as a facilitator is most appreciated and grateful. The compassionate facilitator will do whatever it takes to get things done for those you love. You'll willingly work long hours and move mountains if necessary. To be loved by a compassionate facilitator is a gift indeed. Some tools for the compassionate facilitator: light switch question. So the question to ask yourself to actively engage your compassionate facilitator is, what is the best option for my family, my friends, my community? How can I serve in this situation? Your RX. Prescriptive action that you can take to trigger your compassionate facilitator. Get your money in order. Gather community around you. So in a nutshell, the facilitator: compassionate, confidence, depth, empowered, and gentle. People who have passed over, who have the soul paths as a compassionate facilitator was Frank Sinatra, Heath Ledger, Christina Grimmie, were all compassionate facilitators. Now the dark path of the compassionate facilitator. Remembering that the dark path is a mastered skill, something you are very familiar with, that has a been there, done that energy about it. As a dark compassionate facilitator, you are just as likely to value community, customs, and loyalty, all of the same light paths as your light path characteristics, as you are taken on the collapsing behavior though. So read the light path compassionate facilitators and then continue with the dark path. Okay, so we just read the light path. Now we're going to read the dark path. Who is the Dark Path Compassionate Facilitator? The core energy of the Dark Path Compassionate Facilitator is having a sheep mentality, flowing blindly and being easily led astray, sometimes being a poor judge of character, and then being unable to listen to reason when this is pointed out to you. I give my loyalty to someone I perceive as being a leader, follow them blindly, and will do whatever they ask of me. If I am following you, I don't judge you or your motives, and am therefore easily led astray. I will do your dirty work simply because you asked me to. I am a prototype hitman in the mafia gang. I am simply do it because you asked me to, and I am your subject. I am unable to listen to reason once I have decided to give you my loyalty. Boy, isn't that interesting? Such powerfulness for a dark, compassionate facilitator to have a descriptive as the hitman in a mafia gang, just because he was asked to do it. So recognizing the dark path of a compassionate facilitator. You're offered choices. Other negative characteristics. I am conflicted about money. If you're in my circle of friends and family, I am unfathomably generous, but never with those I don't know. Although I won't listen to reason about my own life, I get into the way of others' experiences and interfere in all aspects of the lives of family members because I know best. So remembering, as I read earlier, the mafia hitman mentality. So as you see, a dark compassionate facilitator will want to take on and live and intrude on someone's personal life experience. So you can see how that is a negative impact. But the person who is asking that of a dark compassionate facilitator to do something for them that they can do is also stopping their life experience as well. So that's also something to recognize when you are, if a compassionate facilitator is being asked to do something, ask yourself the questions. Is this feeling heartfelt? Does this feel true to me? Does this work for my community? Noticing that it is a centered question, but really recognizing and placing your hand on your heart if you need to, and asking yourself those questions. So the dark path characteristics for the dark compassionate facilitator are easily led astray, poor judge of character, worry about money, follow leader blindly, little or no moral consciousness. Wow. Undertake tasks others find thankless. I know best. Will do dirty work, do whatever it takes to get the task done. Boy, their poor heart, you can imagine, but what great gifts are being offered here to know that you can choose away from this, because as I shared, I did read the light characteristics of the light compassionate facilitator, and those are the characteristics and energy and feeling that we want to reach for. So I had read the compassionate caretaker, the compassionate facilitator. Now I'm going to read the last one under the category of compassionate, which is the compassionate healer. Compassionate healer, light path. As a compassionate healer, you care about all living things and have a deep desire to help alleviate the pain and suffering and bring wholeness to the health to the world. You know how to fix what is broken in our world. Once you have decided what it is that you would do, what you would like to heal, you know how to take the steps to do this. You have a very clear sense of right and wrong. You follow your heart, not your head, and are willing to make sacrifices for what you believe in. How lovely. Your core energy as a compassionate healer is healing people, animals, or the planet, and fixing what is wrong. The core energy represents positive core values deep within you that create an expansion of your energy, that creates positive and loving feelings. So the repercussion or the consequences of the light love coming from the actions of a healer is very positive. How you can change our world and want to be of service as a healer is profound. Being a compassionate healer means choosing what it is that you would like to heal and then taking action toward that. What you fix will be aligned with your personal beliefs, and it could involve people, animals, or our planet. The interaction that brings you the most joy and peace and a feeling of being on purpose is connecting with all living things in a loving way. How wonderful. Let me take a drink. Thank you. Who am I? Who is the compassionate healer? I respond to the world through my heart. I can trust my feelings when I identify whether I'm feeling good or bad. I don't make mistakes. I do get into difficulty when I don't trust this and overthink or allow the opinions of others to get in the way. I am a person who cares deeply about all living things and wants to bring wholeness and health to the world. I have a clear sense of right and wrong and see the world as a positive and wonderful place. My deep commitment to the positive and good is boundless. I fix what is broken. This can be hard on me at times, as it requires me to notice what is wrong with the world so that I can get involved in repairing it. It is best for my sanity that I don't get involved in the news, media, or other stories about catastrophes. I am patient and welcome new ideas, but am impatient with routine. I work well alone, and I work well with people. I follow my heart, not my head, when making decisions. I am very unsettled by disharmony in my own life and put a great deal of effort into having things run smoothly. I admit that sometimes I heal what doesn't need to be healed and need to respect boundaries. This interference only comes from a real desire to heal, even when my self-healing is the appropriate course of action. What am I doing here as a compassionate healer? My joy comes from helping to alleviate pain and suffering and bring wholeness and health to all living things. I am driven by a strong desire to contribute to the welfare of all living things. I make a conscious and deep commitment to the good of the world and am willing to make sacrifices for what I believe in. The compassionate healer characteristics: follow heart, not head. Help alleviate pain and suffering. Deep commitment to good. Care deeply about all living things. Do whatever it takes to get strong desire to contribute to a welfare of all beings and things. Work well alone and with others. Want to bring health to the world. Conscious and deep commitment to good and bring wholeness and health to all. I am a positive person. Who is the compassionate healer? Special gifts and greatness of a compassionate healer: restorative person who values honor and has patience. Remembering that your superpower is love. So, some meanings and understanding for restorative, honor, and patience. Restorative. Compassionate healers helps make others feel good. You care deeply about all living things and are always on the lookout for things, plants, animals, and people, to fix. You instinctively know how to fix what is broken and help alleviate pain and suffering. It could be someone close to you or a group that you support. You want to bring wholeness and health to others. Knowing how to make others feel better is an incredible life skill. You just know how to fix and have a strong desire to contribute to the welfare of all. Sometimes there is just too much that needs to be fixed and requires your attention, and compassionate healers can become quite overwhelmed. You do need to be vigilant for when you are healing what doesn't need to be healed. being watchful of becoming interfering. Learning to respect boundaries is a part of your journey. You also need to be cautious of others relying on you too much, on you to make them feel better. Honor. Compassionate healers have a very clear sense of right and wrong, and you follow your heart, not your head. You make a deep conscious commitment to good. This honor makes you vulnerable to judgment from others who may feel threatened by you. Compassionate healers, confidence helps you feel accepted. Your open heart helps you to feel positive. You are a cup half full person. You are a positive person who prefers to see the world as a wonderful place. Patience. Compassionate healers are naturally calm and composed and are open to new ideas. You work well alone and also with others. You connect with others in a loving way, and this gives you great patience. Although patient with others, you are very unsettled by disharmony in your own life and put a great deal of effort into having things run smoothly. This could manifest negatively as people-pleasing and sometimes as victim mentality. More compassionate healer tools, your light switch questions. Questions to ask yourself to actively engage your compassionate healer. How can I fix this? Is this something that is broken and needs healing, or is this time to allow things to unfold? Great questions. Your RX. Prescriptive action that you can take to trigger your compassionate healer. Stop watching, listening, and reading bad news. Make a clear assessment of whether to get involved. So in a nutshell, for a compassionate healer, compassionate, confidence, empowered, and gentle, as well, depth. People who have passed over, who have the same soul paths as what I have just read of a compassionate healer, is George Harrison, Kurt Cobain, John Lennon, lovely, or compassionate healers, were compassionate healers. I will now read the dark path of the compassionate healer. Remembering that the dark path is a mastered skill, something you are very familiar with, that has a been there, done that energy about it. As a dark compassionate healer, you're just as likely to exhibit restorative, patience, and honor, all of your light path characteristics, as you are taking on the collapsed behavior. So who is the dark compassionate healer? The core energy for the dark compassionate healer is blaming yourself and feeling responsible for all of the bad things that happen around you. You feel constantly criticized and never feel good enough. I blame myself for everything that goes on in my life, and I see myself as responsible for everything. This incredible arrogance of feeling that I am responsible for everything going on around me is part of my ego. An ego that I pretend is self-deprecating. But in actual fact, it is an enormous ego that thinks that I am so important that I am the center of everything. I feel others are criticizing me and that I am being judged and found wanting. I criticize myself for what I do and for who I am, and never good enough. So that is the dark path of the dark healer. Other negative characteristics. Cannot cope with disharmony. Even the little arguments and disputes become larger than life dramas. I interfere in the lives of others under the guise of wanting to help, but actually because I think that I am the only one to heal the situation. Compassionate healer dark path characteristics are so important. I am the center of everything. Impatient with routine. Needs to respect boundaries of others. Needs things to run smoothly. Unsettled by disharmony. Am judged and found wanting. Enormous ego. Feel constantly criticized. Feel I am the only one who can heal the situation. More pieces to the dark path compassionate healer puzzle. Dark path need to fix and heal, feel needed. your antidote. Love yourself. Make an honest assessment of responsibility in all situations. Learn to stay out of it. It's not always up to you to fix. Stay in your lane. Dark fears. I am never good enough no matter what I accomplish. I have a chronic lack of confidence. Who do I think I am? I am always to blame for what goes wrong. It must be my fault. Dark path identity. I am to blame. Dark path subconscious reaction. What have I done wrong? Wow, those are the 3 light and dark paths of the compassionate category. So compassionate caretaker, facilitator, and healer. Each with the same main thing of their empowerment and their superpower is their love. But each of them have their own distinctive characteristic for a person who does have a path of a compassionate to recognize the light and the dark characteristics, the light emotions and the dark emotions. You're beautiful, beautiful paths, and we are grateful for them.